All right, here we are in a 2025 Audi A3. This is the progressive trim, and so in the lineup of Audi A3s, there are three different trims you can get: the base, this progressive, and the Technic. Now this progressive has the S-Line package optioned on it, so it looks pretty cool. It looks very sporty on the outside. I love all the black bits on the vehicle. With all three trims, there is only one engine option, and that is the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. There's only all-wheel drive now. They used to offer a front-wheel drive Audi A3, but no longer. This A3 makes 201 horsepower and 236 pound-feet of torque. Makes a little bit more torque from the 2024 model, but really it's pretty similar. This is a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, so different from my Mazda 3, which is a 6-speed transmission. This is going to be a little bit snappier. It doesn't quite have the same amount of power as my Mazda 3 Turbo. That has 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, but dual clutches always feel a little bit snappier. Why do I bring up my Mazda 3? Well, when I bought my Mazda 3, Mazda's marketing was this is going against the A-Class Mercedes, the 2 Series BMW, and the Audi A3. That's what they want the Mazda 3 to kind of compete with. And so it's interesting sitting in here now owning a Mazda 3, and I get to make that observation for myself, I guess. Right off the bat though, there's a lot more technology going on in this Audi A3 versus my Mazda 3. We've got fancy ambient lighting. We've got this really cool driver's display. We've got this big 12.3-inch screen in the middle here, and you can change your LED daytime running light design, which is pretty funky. The Mazda 3 definitely feels premium, and it has more of a vintage look. This is definitely more of a tech vibe. Huge thanks to the team at Audi London for setting me up with this 2025 A3. If you're in the southwestern Ontario area and thinking about an Audi, these are the people to see. Now my brother owns a 2018 Audi A3, so I thought it'd be cool to kind of look at what's changed since his generation to this one, because this is the 4th generation and his was the 3rd generation. Now, another reason why I bring up my brother's Audi A3 is because it ties in today's sponsor, which is Vredestein Tires. Vredestein recently hooked up my brother with brand new Quattrak Pro Plus all-weather tires. Let's take a look. For over a year now, I've been running Vredestein Hypertrack tires on my Mazda 3, and now my brother has been introduced to the Vredestein lineup. These Quattrak Pro Plus tires carry the 3-peak mountain snowflake rating, which means they're fully rated for winter use, so he won't have to worry about swapping to dedicated winners this season. They also deliver best-in-class performance on wet roads. They improve fuel efficiency, and they have excellent water evacuation to help prevent aquaplaning. And of course, Vredestein offers more than just these. From all-weathers to summers, winters, and even all-terrain tires, you can find the right fit for your car or your Audi A3 at vredestein.ca. If you're in Canada, just head to the site, enter your location, and you'll see exactly where to find your nearest tire dealer. So the trims are a little bit different between countries, but 2026 pricing for the A3 starts at $47,000 here in Canada and $40,000 in the US. This A3 is spec'd to $56,000 here in Canada, and it has the navigation package and the S-Line package, which is called the Black Optics package in the US. The S-Line package includes a 5Y twin-spoke rim design with a black metallic finish, S-Line illuminated door sills, sport suspension, stainless steel pedals, black mirrors, a 3-spoke leather flat-bottom steering wheel, shift paddles, Black Optics exterior, 2D Dark Optics anthracite gray logos, black headliner, front sport seats, and this also is optioned with the Sonos sound system. All right, 4th generation Audi A3. Let's take a look at the outside. This is a refresh this year for 2025, so it's had some updates to the styling. All right, so the A3 is following the design pattern or design language of the other Audis in the lineup with this sort of split grille design. We have the new LED matrix headlights where you can adjust and change the design on there. It's super cool. There's about 3 designs that the car comes with, and you can choose between them. You do have to turn the car on and off to get them to reset. Now, because this is the S line, you do get all the blacked out bits, which makes the car look considerably better in my opinion. But overall, I think the front end is pretty aggressive, looks pretty nice. We've got a blacked out side skirt here. We do have keyless entry on both doors too. Things where you really notice quality differences is in the doors. When you open these doors, they don't fly back at you. They just stay put, which is nice. In my Mazda, they just fly right back at you. They also just feel so much more substantial. And then back here again, we have that dark gray logo, which looks really nice. Surprisingly, we have kind of like an S3 RS3 badge back here. Not sure what people are gonna think about that, but I do really like the rear taillight design. I think overall, it's a pretty good looking vehicle. I like this rear end a lot. Okay, let's take a quick look at the design approval of the Audi A3. Between Instagram and YouTube, we got 471 votes and 78% of you approve of the design on this A3. All right, so inside the interior space of the Audi A3, and I have to say right off the bat, this is pretty nice. I wasn't really expecting it to feel this nice inside, and it's really good. Quality seems pretty solid. Really happy that we have physical HVAC controls, physical controls for our heated seats. We've got physical controls for drive select, traction control, auto start stop off for our camera, and for all of the other stuff in here. It's nice. I really wasn't expecting physical controls in a new Audi because even Volkswagen's kind of gotten away from physical controls. So in the middle here, we have a 12.3-inch touchscreen and it works pretty well. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Here is CarPlay and how it looks. And then we have a customizable 10.3-inch driver's display over here. There's these 2 main modes, but then you can switch between what you're seeing. So you got your music, who you've been talking to, and then you've got this big navigation screen. And this isn't new for Audi, but it's cool that it's in an A3 now. I also really like these door handles, really easy to open. Got all your light controls over here on the left, and then over here we've got a kind of a cool material. And then we've got the Quattro badge. We do have a wireless charger with 2 USB-Cs. Your phone kind of slants down, which is nice. That means it's not gonna go flying all over the place like it does in a lot of other products. We've got our parking brake, we've got 2 cup holders, and then we do have an adjustable armrest. And it's pretty adjustable actually. It's not a whole lot of space in there, but it is adjustable, which is nice. Now in the middle here, this is where your start and stop is. We've got this funny gear shifter, which at first I was like, but when you drive around town, it's really easy to just go into reverse, go into drive, and it just works pretty well. Now, unfortunately, this A3 is not spec'd out with a 360 camera, but it does have a rear view camera, and the quality is pretty decent. It's just at $56,000, you would probably expect to have a 360 camera. You can also see this ambient lighting in the vehicle. It's not outrageous like Mercedes. I do like the ambient lighting in here. It's very subtle. Audi's always been pretty conservative when it comes to design, and I have to say I do prefer just how minimal the ambient lighting is. So we've got 4 drive modes here in the Audi A3. We've got comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. I've been driving this around in dynamic for the most part of the day, and it's nice. This has the sport suspension because this has the S-Line package, but I don't find it overly firm. It actually is considerably better than my Mazda 3, which has a torsion beam. So in individual, we have drive as balanced or sport, and then steering as comfortable, balanced, or sport. Now, I like how minimal this steering wheel is. There's not a whole lot you can do with it. You basically can adjust your driver's display with the left side here, and then your music and phone controls on the right here. You've got a volume wheel here, which is nice because I don't really like using that haptic touch thing over there. So this A3 has the advanced sports seats, and it has the S-Line written on the headrests. I find them pretty comfortable. I haven't done a road trip in this yet, so I can't really say for sure, but they do have leg extensions, which is nice. Now back here, it's decently comfortable. My legs aren't touching the seat, and this is where I normally drive. So that's good. We do have vents, and we do have 2 USB-Cs. This is a big upgrade from my Mazda 3. No vents, no USB-Cs. Then we've got cup holders here and an armrest, and it's padded pretty nicely. Right, so here's your Audi A3 key, and then we do have a button to open the trunk here. And inside the trunk, you've got 10.9 cubic feet of space. So all the Audi A3s now are all-wheel drive or all quattro. Back in 2018, when my brother bought an A3, he was able to get a front-wheel drive, which actually gave you a little bit more cargo space at about 12 cubic feet. So this is a little bit of a different video today because I'm just driving this for the day. Usually with press vehicles, I'm driving them throughout the week and I can kind of tell you what I'm getting fuel economy wise, etc. This vehicle is brand new, so I'm not going to be flooring it. I'm not going to be pushing it too hard because this car hasn't had its break-in period yet. It had 12 kilometers when I picked it up this morning. So some people that are looking at an Audi A3 are going to be looking at a Jetta GLI or a Golf GTI. And basically what you're getting in this is a more premium feeling experience inside. With the GTI and the GLI, you're getting a quicker car and maybe a little more fun of a vehicle. This is a little more serious. What you're getting in this, it's a little more serious. It's more of a business vibe as opposed to the GTI and the GLI where you're going out to have some fun driving. Now, when it comes to the driving dynamics, it's actually pretty good. It's very sharp. The steering's pretty precise, to be honest. It's pretty good. And it handles its body mass pretty well. So key things with the drive on this Audi A3, really good visibility. You can see all around the vehicle easy. There's no blind spot. You sit low, which is a cool feeling. I like sitting low to the ground. Ride quality is very nice. It's very smooth and soft, even with this Sport Tune suspension. I'd have to drive the other version to see how it feels differently, but this feels better than my Mazda 3. My Mazda 3 feels pretty stiff, especially because it has a torsion beam. This has independent rear suspension. The handling is really nice. It takes corners really well. I love the steering feel. It's not too light. It's not too heavy. I love this steering wheel. It's so small. I really like small steering wheels. It's fun. Obviously, I don't want to launch this vehicle because this is brand new and it hasn't had its break-in period. But basically, you can achieve 60 miles per hour in about 6 seconds, which is quick enough for most people. All right, so let's see how the paddle shifters react. We're in 2. Well, they shift pretty quick, actually. If you want more power, you are just gonna have to jump up into the S3 or RS3. Now, I've gotta say the brakes do feel quite substantial in here. They feel good. My Mazda 3 brakes, you really gotta lay into them to make that car stop. This, it's very touchy. Now, this is a brand new vehicle, so I can't really tell you fuel economy or like what fuel economy I've been getting today because it's brand new, and cars are never that efficient when they're brand new. But Audi says you should be able to get 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers combined. My Mazda 3 Turbo is a little worse on gas. It gets about 9 to 9.5 liters per 100 kilometers. And if you're wondering what the fuel tank size is here on this sedan, it is 55 liters. Other important things to note is it's pretty quiet in here. I'm on a pretty bumpy road right now, so you're hearing a little bit of road noise. You hear a little bit of road noise from the tires always, but it's pretty quiet in here and it's really good for a vehicle in this class. This one has lane assist. It's not like a full steering thing where it keeps you in the center of the lane. It just kind of bounces you off the lines here. Anyways, bit of a quick video today because I'm only spending one day with this Audi A3, but a big thanks to Audi London for letting me drive it and check it out and film it for my YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. And also a big thanks to Vredestein Tires for sponsoring this video as well.